Okay, so today we are talking about one of my favorite genres of music, which is black metal, or more specifically, Norwegian black metal, which is the only kind of black metal which matters, which counts, in my opinion. And it's only my opinion. You have yours, I have mine. You can slag me off in the comments. I don't care, but Norwegian black metal and European black metal is the only black metal that counts. And the best black metal album is, again, in my opinion, is In the Nightside Eclipse by Emperor. I was going to do like a top 3 or a top 5 rankings of black metal, but who gives a crap about rankings? I don't. Any ranking that I see, I never agree with anyway, and you probably won't agree with me, but my pie is in the oven. I'm waiting for my pie, so I'm going to rap about Emperor. So this came out in 1994. It's a landmark album for them. 1994 is quite late in terms of black metal, which had been around since the 80s, and Emperor had been around before this album. They had released Wrath of the Tyrant, which I believe doesn't have keyboards on it, and I heard Wrath of the Tyrant later, and to be honest, I wasn't impressed at the time. I can appreciate it now and I do like it now, but I think the keyboards in this album really give it that sweeping, majestic, atmospheric quality. It can be challenging to listen to. I first listened to it in 1994 when I was 16, and at the time I was listening to bands like Entombed, probably Cradle of Filth. The Principles of Evil Made Flesh was also a good album at that time for me, although they didn't have that kind of mysteriousness that Emperor had. And I had the In the Nightside Eclipse poster on my wall, and when I saw those guys at the bottom, those 4 pictures, I was like, what? Who are these guys? They like live in a forest and they worship Satan and they breathe fire and they cast mystical spells, and that whole kind of mysticism really sold it to me. And the lo-fi quality to the album really grew on me. It gave it that kind of haunting quality, very symphonic and mysterious, and the artwork on its own is enough to sell this album. I mean, look at the detail on this album. I mean, it's one of the best album covers I've ever seen, so much so that I had a lot of the artwork to this album tattooed on me because I like it so much. The music is kind of similar throughout, and it has that kind of high-pitched classic black metal vocals, which to the outsider, if you like, would be like, oh, he's just screaming. But I tried to do a black metal track and I thought it would be easier than it was, and I tried doing that kind of vocal, and believe you me, it's difficult. So the vocals are actually really good, the songs are intricate, and you really get something every time you listen to this album. Every time I listen to this album, I can pick out something new. There's a new layer that I unearth. There's something new to discover. It really is multi-layered and very creative album. The drums have loads of reverb, which I love. They're very intense, and there's a lot of use of the triplet rhythms that you get in black metal, which is the kind of, it's all in 3s, which gives it that kind of, I don't know, folky kind of feel. That's the kind of feel that you either kind of like or you don't, but I really, really like it. So if you want a classically influenced black metal soundscape, then look no further than this, the best black metal album in the history of music. Stay awesome.